context is, who of you has an idea or an understanding of spiritual bypassing? And I don't, like, as an answer, it's totally enough to raise the digital hands or give me a sign digitally with one of the reactions on the menu bar. Who of you has an idea or says, I heard of spiritual bypassing and I think I have a kind of an understanding what it means? No reactions? Okay, I see. So one of you has, the others so far either not. Great. Another comment, interested and curious to know about it. That's what's coming here. So if this is a new expression or a new term to you, what would be your guess what spiritual bypassing could be?
So, Jana, could it be that we use spirituality as an excuse to bypass some other, stuff? Could it be that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's very, it has a lot to do with that. In let's say, we can use, let's say, the term spirituality and as a label or as a shield to act in certain ways or to avoid certain things. Yeah, here Mrodula writes, bypassing unresolved issues with spiritual excuses. Exactly. So, for example, if we have the impression of, instead of processing difficult feelings, turning and deciding towards meditation for staying in, let's say, a positive emotion or trying to reach out for positive emotions, I would say the difference of meditation in the sense of spirituality or bypassing, using it as a bypass, can be, I can go into meditation to process difficult situations, to process difficult emotions, to meet them there, and to let's say, to process them there. Or I can try to go into meditation to always be peaceful and calmful and not calmful, be peaceful, stay calm, and not get into contact with maybe more difficult emotions. Does that make sense to you, the difference? Let me know if you have an idea of this difference.
Jana, could I also add in something? My view of it is,
yes,
like
definitely.
some people
Please.
in a lifetime have achieved a lot spiritually, but they have a little more learning to do. So that could be in their deeds in the next life. And that's what they have come to do. So spirituality is not part of their life in this life, but in the past that they have done a lot of meditation, a lot of spirituality. And now it's a time that they have to just pass this life with other deeds, other good deeds. Would that make any sense?
Interesting. I would say it's definitely a way of bypassing spirituality. I would say there's a difference between spiritual bypassing and bypassing spirituality.
Okay.
So does that make sense to you, that what you described to me sounds like bypassing spirituality? Because
yes,
we build up enough karma, enough good energy in former lifetimes. So this lifetime, it's not my turn, let's say it like this.
Yeah.
Whereas spiritual bypassing has to do with well, spirituality, it can be a force that helps us to enhance our personality, our soul, our well-being. Engaging in spiritual bypassing is more a way to avoid complicated feelings or issues that can ultimately hold us back in our development. So when the label of spirituality becomes a shield to always stay positive, never process difficult emotions, because spirituality means to only always be in the absolute peace of mind and peace of calmness state that never even processes more intense emotions. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And rather than working through, well, heart or the emotions that might be more in the lower energy and lower frequencies, or to process unresolved issues we have, we simply dismiss them with spiritual explanations in terms of I'm in peace and I'm sending out love to this other person. A lot of times the typical aspect is when people say, I'm sending out all the love and gratitude to my former partner or to this person that made me hurt. But below this surface sending out of love, there still is unprocessed grief, unprocessed anger, unprocessed disappointment. And so we indeed use spirituality to keep us from processing what's indeed to dissolve. Yeah, interesting. Shashank, is it the spirituality itself or our idea of what it should be? Would you explain a bit more around that?
Yes, Jana. Like, I think, at least like for me, I used to think, okay, if you are doing some practices and you're on this path of spirituality, let's say you are so calm and um, you won't, yeah, even though if you experience these feelings and emotions, you won't be able to express, or you won't express because you are achieved some kind of mastery. So, of course, the more I dig deep into this, I understand that this is all part of of our human experience here. So that means it is our view of how it should be is stopping us, because spirituality itself has no kind of definition, right? We give the view idea of it. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that makes what you say is very strong in that sense of, as soon as we have a clear how it should be, instead of exacting what it is and deciding to react from an understanding of how it should be, instead of opening up to what is and responding to what is, spiritual bypassing is something to be very likely in the room, let's say it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, taking like anger as an example, I think we need to, like, of course, we experience this, we need to process this in a healthy manner. But if we have already a predetermined notion that, okay, all spiritual people should be really peaceful, and why am I getting this anger? Something is wrong within me. So another guilt starts.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is our idea of how it should be, but which is not the truth.
Yeah, very true. And sometimes there is a subconscious level of, I shouldn't be angry, so I do not even confess towards myself that there is anger. I can even fool myself in that sense of, oh no, there is no anger. I'm sending love out to that person that I was struggling with, or that I had a hard lesson with, that I had a difficult experience. Only sending out love here before I even checked in with myself. Well, what's there to look at? What emotion arose from this situation? And to be okay with what arose, because whatever is, right? Emotions are there and give us very important insights. Not even to go there, because we kind of don't want to see it. It's kind of a blind spot. So sometimes people can be in spiritual bypassing without even being aware of it, because it's still not being able to look at a certain blind spot. Does any one of you, the way we discussed it now, do you have a memory or an experience where you could see whether there was somebody spiritual bypassing, or maybe even at a certain level we ourselves were still spiritual bypassing? Because as I said, if it's for the time it being a blind spot, we might not even be having been in the situation or in the condition to have it done better. Yes, Madhvi, please share. Good to see you.
Good evening, Jana. Good to see you after a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain me about, because I just joined it now, sorry for so late. Can you explain me what is this meaning actually, like spiritual bypassing in a shorter term?
So spiritual bypassing is a way of hiding behind spirituality or spiritual practices, and to prevent you, in fact, from processing specific emotions, like avoiding feelings of anger by just convincing yourself of, I'm sending out love all the time. But if there's still some anger that needs to be processed, we are using the spiritual bypassing to avoid feeling what needs to be felt, for example, or believing in our spirituality giving us superiority as a way to hide from our insecurity, right? So if you had a difficult situation with someone else and the thought is more, this person is simply not at the same stage of compared to me in terms of spirituality, so this issue was on the side of the person, for example, or feeling of detachment. In a sense of detachment is a good thing, of course, and sometimes we might lose something in our life, and instead of being able to for a while also grieve about the loss, we immediately jump to, well, that doesn't hurt, that doesn't matter, it was just something material, this is not important for my life, I'm detached from it. But in fact, if we really go deep down inside ourselves, there was still some grief, because there had been some attachment to whatever that has been. Does that make sense?
Yes, understood the whole concept. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Madhu is hand raised. After her, I will just tell you my experience.
Yes, please. So this is Ram, I think, still.
Yeah. So I really like the discussion, and particularly about how it all ends on how we define spirituality. And this topic is quite close to me in a way, because I have lived my earlier, let's say, younger and college times, school times, when listening to the conversations of my father and mother, you know, one over the other, and the topic is always that is this, which is spiritual, what was that, spiritual bypassing.
Yeah.
So one claiming on the other, this is spiritual bypassing, and so on and so forth. And in those times I was thinking, probably, yes, they are spiritual bypassing certain experiences, certain situations of life. While now when I look back, I think they weren't, and they were genuinely living to the best. So what in those times for me they meant, they really were like spiritually they were bypassing certain things, while now they don't seem to be. So it really depended on my understanding of life, of my understanding how those situations should have been dealt, and how I defined, spirituality versus how I see everything now. So yes, this is what I feel out of my personal experience.
Thank you,
So
Ram.
probably some, I'm sure some may think, or even I know one of my very close family members, where he says even meditation is a spiritual bypassing. Why do you guys sit silent?
Yeah.
Okay. So go, live, do something. What do you get out of it? And for them, the definition of meditation is that. For them, the definition of life is that. And for them, we are, or let's say the one who is meditating, for them is basically even that act of meditating is spiritual bypassing.
Yeah, maybe for some people in their definition, might be.
Yeah. So, and as I said, it was also my personal experience. And looking back, I realign and rephrase my own understandings and definitions.
Yeah, totally makes sense. On the level of consciousness that we are at, we might not see certain things as being spiritual, although they are. I can see that. And I definitely, in my level of consciousness, I would say can have for me a definition on when meditation is spiritual bypassing and when it is not. For example, for me, if somebody is meditating to get in connection with emotions that are present in the body, this to me is spiritual meditating. Whereas if somebody is going into meditation to stay peaceful and calm without getting in contact with those emotions, so to avoid contact with these emotions, but using it as a way of being peaceful and calm, and in that way trying to get away from this emotions in the body, then it to me, for example, is spiritual bypassing. And maybe, Mrodula, and on another level, maybe there is somebody else who doesn't even feel negative emotions anymore. So why should this person in meditation then sit with negative emotions, right? So that would be a next level of consciousness. Mrodula, please share.
Hi, Jana. It's a very interesting topic. I love it. Makes us all think. So one of the things that came to my mind is everything is at our level of perception. As Ram mentioned, I think, whatever wherever we are, that's how we perceive it. And then everybody else thinks of it as a judgment or lack of, feeling emotion maybe, or, it's all in perception. Now, how do we resolve that if somebody says meditation is not looking at your emotion? Actually, meditation is. That's why many people, when they go into this silence, they're forced to face their emotion. There's nothing else but you and your emotion. So many people have purging. They cry, and sometimes they don't want to go into the stillness because all these emotional thoughts and feelings come to them and they don't want to face it. So there's that way of looking at just in meditation in general. But everything, I think, is how we look at things. I think many people think because I post things, I know everything. I don't know everything. If I knew everything, I would not be meditating, or I would not want to know. I wouldn't read. I read a lot because I want to know more. If I knew everything, then, I wouldn't be here on this planet, I'd be somewhere else. So I think everything is for our learning, and, however we perceive it to be. It's hard to say if one is bypassing or not bypassing too, How do we know that? We don't know that. They're in their own level of perception, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
But
very
it's
true.
good topic, we do. Many people walk around their life. I slept in the only word I could think of when I first joined meditation a long time ago. I mean, it was 10 years ago, but I feel like I slept in my life. Like I went through the motions of my life, just working and living the day without knowing the day, without feeling the emotion of the day, without connecting at a level that I probably needed to connect. I was living like a zombie, every day doing whatever we do. But meditation made me conscious of my emotions and deal with them and come out in a different way. So but yeah, I think we do bypass many people. I would have to be so bold to say that we bypass before we know meditation. Once we know meditation, we confront all these things in the meditation. And the people who cannot sit still are not able to confront. And then that takes their own time if that's what they want to do. That's my take on this, in a different way, I bypassed discussing the bypass.
That's interesting. No, I wouldn't say so. I think it's like it's not a topic that is 100% tangible, right? So I think there's a lot of different angles that, and this is why I love sharing in these groups, that all the angles here help to get closer to a new own understanding on the topic, which still doesn't mean that we all have the same understanding or that anybody has figured it out all, just as you said, right?
Just a discussion. It's a discussion. I remember thinking about this more than 10 years ago. I have not thought about it because I went into meditation and faced my own emotions and all that. But now you brought it up. It's a wonderful discussion to have. I'm excited to see what other people think too. But that's what I think meditation in my mind brings us closer to our, facing the emotions, whatever we need to do, or whatever difficulties we have in life. We cannot sit in meditation if we're not ready to do that, because it makes us confront those things. That's all, because I do see people saying, when I sit like that, all my thoughts come back. I can't deal with it. Some of them start crying. Some of them, just can't do it because they are confronted with their emotions. But I don't know what other state that we confront so directly, and we're alone. We have no help, right? We're facing this by ourselves, in our own state. And the thing is, our soul is our strength, and we don't realize that. That's another conversation. But we confront all these things by ourselves, and it's scary for people because everybody wants to hold somebody's hand. But we realize that we ourselves can sit in the silence and face it ourselves. And that's another thing, I think that people do want to bypass, if they want to bypass, because it's hard to face them by yourself. So,
thanks.
Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Jana.
Yeah, no worries. It's really I love the discussion and the different angles today. It's awesome. Madhvi, you also raised your hand and then you lowered it again. Would you nevertheless still like to share with us?
Yes, Jana, I just lowered my hand so that others can also, go ahead with it. So I was going on thinking when Mridulaji saying about this bypass. Yes, that's a really a tough question for me, like spiritual bypassing, because in the childhood, what I had, this kind of one incident that I'm still not able to. I learned so many things. I know this whole plants and everybody is leaving, and I know about the abundance, and I know that I can see the people now. I don't miss them because we all deal with the soul level, not like a physical level anymore, but on the soul levels. So if I'm dealing with the soul levels, then there is no presence and absence. It's just being. That's it. If I am there, then even if I'm not there, also I'm there. So I have to. There's only one is existing. It's not two anymore. It's like plus or negative or presence and absence. But one incident which made me so attached or so scared at that time when I was young, and that I could not bypass it still. That's when you say that it's a spiritually, when I'm learning so many things, and but still, as just now Shashank Master was saying about the anger, we say that we overcome the anger, but still it is existing in ourselves. It's the same with me, that I have given up that incident, but still that is still in with me. Still it's going step by step, but it's not gone. So the spiritual bypassing, when you say this word, I think I'm still on my way. I could not say that I have spiritually bypassed. But it's
interesting.
It's
Great way of expressing it. Yeah.
This is how it's still going on with me. That's my experience.
Thank you for sharing. I totally agree with you, and I'm on the same page with you. I would say that I still have situations and moments in my life where I cannot immediately engage with the experience in an open way. Sometimes there's still some denial, some resistance that I first need my time to consciously dissolve before I can totally engage with it. So I would say I still can have some spiritual bypassing. The difference for me is when I'm conscious about it, it's a way of dissolving it, forgetting into really engaging with the emotion, with what's there to melt with in the present moment. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Step by step, it's coming up. Yeah,
exactly.
But I've not got through, I would say, because that is still there.
Can be for me as well. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. It's a really interesting topics you bring in.
Great that you like it. Great that you like it.
Yes, it's very interesting. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, a pleasure. So one situation where it was really very, where I would say I really observed it for the first time very clearly, and I didn't know that this is what you might call spiritually bypassing, was when I saw how you can also use gratitude in a level that it keeps you away from processing what's there. And when I was working with one of my clients, this client had a habit that whenever we talked about difficult experiences, and the client started to talk about these experiences in an explanational, in an explaining way on the cognitive level. And when the person then got closer to getting to the emotional level, immediately the person jumped to saying, well, and overall, I'm so grateful for this having happened because, and it was back in the head. When I then dig deeper into where do you feel the gratitude? How does the gratitude feel? It turned out that the person did not feel it on an emotional level, the gratitude, but only on the cognitive level, used this shield going to, well, I am grateful because, so that the person did not go to the other feeling that was there to feel, that was grief and sadness about the experience. And instead of going to see what is there, which was grief and sadness, the person with the head immediately turned to gratitude in terms of, well, I'm grateful for it because, but these reasons were only cognitive reasons. Does this make sense to you, the way I explain it? So it was a big insight for me to see that gratitude is immensely powerful if it's felt, and it can be a shield that keeps us from feeling what has to be felt if we only use it in the head. You must be grateful for, or I'm grateful for something only in my head if I don't feel it.
Yes, Jana, but we can also do that with everything else too. Anything, like I used work for many years to bypass my emotions. You know, so we can, anything can be, but I guess it's up to the own individual, you know, how we know the truth, right? If we're bypassing, if we're using it as a, you know, something like a crutch, we know that I knew I was using like my work for years. I didn't want to face anything. I actually used to get another degree, you know, while working. Can you imagine? That's how busy I made myself. So I don't have to face my emotion. So, I know we're talking about a whole different subject, but we can use anything. We can
Definitely.
Spiritual. So in spirituality, we may say, well, I'm participating in the WhatsApp group of Beam Family, let's say. And so I'm not bypassing, but we don't know. We don't know who's bypassing, who's not, who's using something as something else, you know, as using it like not really dwelling into their feelings and emotions. And the thing is, to even go into spirituality, we have to face all these things. That's the process of, you know, going through the spirituality, facing all our emotions, so we're free to go into our soul journey.
Yeah.
But that takes time, and it's our own self-growth. I mean, who are we to, as people say, judge somebody if they're doing it right or wrong? We don't know. So it's up to each own person what they're doing, is my take on this. I mean, we can use anything in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But today I'm grateful for the discussion, because I didn't, like I said, I haven't thought about this in more than 10 years. You're bringing up something that I stopped thinking about because I found an answer for myself, but we all have to find our own answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Jana.
Thank you, Mrudulaji. Any other thoughts on spiritual bypassing that still come up for you and that you would like to share, or questions or comments to challenge what we have been discussing here? We do not always have to agree on everything together. It's also good to challenge each other on thoughts. There's growth in that too.
I have a question, Jana, on this. How do we achieve this bypassing?
How we achieve the bypassing?
Yes.
Can you explain this a little bit more?
For example, in my case, as I told, that even though we deal with the soul levels, but there was one incident where in the childhood, my cousin I lost my cousin actually. So in the accident, actually, it is in the bike and a lorry accident. But when we deal after, like I'm 40 plus now, even after learning everything, and mom and dad also left, right? So I don't grieve so much on my parents than the cousin, because it was. And then I still have that kind of, not a phobia, but I kind of a fear that even though I'm in the spiritual, I understand the things and I overcame, I still drive. But when it comes to the speed, it is like my heart blocks it for a while. So that's the reason why I could not say that I could come out my spiritual bypassing, because that incident is still rotating in me. Even though I know he has his own plan, that's why he's left. And like mom and dad, every soul has their own soul plans to leave early stages or later and so on. But that incident, that kind of an incident, is still rotating. So I'm still stuck on there. That's why I was asking. Is it clear?
Yeah, I think it's clear. So what I heard you saying, that it's rotating, and the way you're aware of it still stuck or still rotating is the fear that you can feel. Do I get that right?
Yes.
So the answer is to dissolve it, sit with the fear. When it comes, sit with this fear and see what happens. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm trying my best. Like, after all, I tried and then learned my car, and I can drive and I can go. But the moment when I take up in a speed, then the situation comes off in front of me, saying that I cannot kill anyone. Like, I can be killed by myself. Even I can drive. If it is very, very lonely, or it is no car is there in front of me, I can just speed. And if somebody asks me to ride in a woods also, I can ride. So I'm not, but the moment when I see the people around, then I'm like, oh, it's Madhvi, you cannot do any mistake, or that comes off immediately. And I always feels that, come on, Madhvi, in case if they have the soul plan to come in front of your car, it's fine. I mean, even though I say that to myself, but still, it's yeah. I don't know.
So to me, you're not neglecting this fear, right? You're aware of it being there.
Yes.
So that to me means there is not a real bypassing, because you're aware what's present. And maybe there is a little resistance in that moment that this fear is there. You want it to go away immediately, because it's obviously not very helpful when you're driving and when you're speeding up, I guess. But spiritually bypass it, that to me would be, you pretend to not feel fear. You to try to distance from that fear as good as you can, in that sense of, I don't care. I'm totally easy to speed with a car.
Yes, I should try that. Let's see. Yeah, that's only one thing which I could not overcome, and I'm still struggling.
I think it's, as long as you're engaging with the process, there is no bypassing. It's this, you're not neglecting what's there, and being in the process of dissolving it, no matter how long it might take.
Yes.
Is part of being spiritual, and not part of bypassing, I would say.
Okay, that makes me happy. Thank you. Someday I will cope up, I think. Yeah, that's my spiritual hurdle, or spiritual bypassing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
you so much. Thank you for
sharing.
giving me the way. Yes, I try. Let's see. And I'll give one more yet a chance. Let's see.
Yeah, and maybe it's not meant to, maybe your plan is to not solve it this lifetime. Who knows, right? So we are here to make, we're spiritual beings, and we're here to make human experiences. And maybe this experience is meant to be your experience for this lifetime. It's more this aspect of, can we accept that? Can we open up to that?
Yes, but then it will become a block actually for me. I don't want it to have a block. When I have a fear of anything, at the moment I have, I don't say I don't have any fears, but I know how to overcome or to face the fears. But this is the one thing which it's like kind of a block. If I have the block, then it's for sure that I will have a next soul plan to come back to get rid of this one. So slowly I could pass my level. I only need to increase my speed. That's the only thing. It's not that I cannot drive, but I can drive. But the only thing is, it is what extent is the question. So sometimes back, Ram said that, Madhvi, on the radar, like, on the speed, just stick something so that you're not looking at it, and then you can ride off. Maybe I should do something like that.
And maybe indeed inviting this fear when you're not driving. So sitting in silence at home, inviting a moment where you feel this fear, one of that is still very present, and then, or where you felt this fear, inviting one of the last situations when you felt this fear, and this way inviting this fear to come to you in a moment where you're not driving, and to sit with it there, and to be in connection with it while you're not driving.
Yes, I should try that. Yes. Thank you so much, Jana. I'll try.
Yeah, no,
I'm giving
no
myself
worries.
1 more year, 1 or 2 more years.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't say I have the solution. That's just an idea coming up with me. And yeah, I would love to, if you let me know how it works out.
Yes, definitely. Because if not, then it was going to be a block then.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'll come up, because it's just 100 to 120. Then after that, 120 to 40 and 60. I think that's it. I think so.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhvi. Okay, so let's go into meditation for the last 15 minutes of our hour today. Find your way into a comfortable position, cross-legged, or maybe both feet flat on the ground and legs parallel. And with the next inhalation, gently close your eyes. Bring your awareness to the spots that connect you with the ground beneath you, a mat, the floor, a chair. Where can you feel being connected to the earth, to the ground? Where can you feel the connection to Pachamama? Bring your attention there for a little moment and get aware of these spots. Maybe the soles of your feet, maybe your sitting bones. Where do you feel connected to the ground beneath you? And how does this connection feel? Maybe it's only like a dot, because you can feel your sitting bones being connected. Maybe it's more extended, as it's your whole feet and the soles. Where are you connected to the ground beneath you right now? With your next inhalation, gently breathe in through your nose and imagine to breathe out through this connection of your body to the ground, deep into the earth. With every inhalation, you breathe in energy. Every exhalation, you send your breath into this connection between your physical body and the ground beneath you. Imagine roots growing deeper and deeper. Every warm exhalation you send into this connection. So that with every inhalation, you more and more root into the energy of air and light. And with every exhalation, you grow the roots through this connecting spot into Jana. There's nothing more you have to do. Simply breathing in and rooting in light. Breathing out to root yourself to the earth. Your breath comes and goes all by itself. With every inhalation, strengthening your roots to the energy of light and air. Every exhalation, rooting you to Mother Earth. Every inhalation connecting you with Father Sky. Every exhalation sending it out as roots into Mother Earth. distracts you with thoughts, just bring your attention back to your in-breath, rooting you to the energies of the sky, and sending the out-breath to root you to Mother Earth. Inhale and exhale, growing your connection to sky and earth. No trying, just breathing. Take some last moments to fully be present of the connection you created. Of the energies of Father Sky and the energies of Mother Earth. Feel that you're always held, always connected, up above and below you. Slowly it is time to come back into the world around you. Leave your breath with your attention and bring it to your hands. Gently move your fingers. Stroll towards your feet with your attention. And gently move your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it drop out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and let it follow through your mouth before you come back to your natural breathing pattern. And at the right space, in the right time, whenever you feel ready, gently open your eyes and come back into the presence of the outer world again. Thank you for meditating with me, everyone, and thank you for the fruitful discussion. If there's anything you would like to share, either unmute yourself or write something in the chat. And if what is to share is silence, that is totally fine as well.
Thank you so much, Jana, for the wonderful session and wonderful meditation.
Thank you, Matvi. I'm very grateful that you enjoyed it. I personally want to say thank you for 2 years of facilitating meditations and consciousness sessions at the Beam family, because for the time being, I will step back from this role, and this was my last session for the time being. I thank you and everyone else who has been here, who has engaged in both meditation and our discussions and dialogues. And I'm grateful to stay part of the Beam family.
Thank you, Jana, for taking all the sessions. When I hear your voice, I go into this a different state. I listen to you on that other, a venue before Beam Family. I didn't know it was you, but yeah. So whatever you do, I'm sure it'll be a wonderful journey, and hope you just stay on the family WhatsApp group, regardless.
Definitely.
But appreciate you, Jana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Murudula.
And love you lots. Take care. Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Love you too. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for everyone and everyone's presence.
Thank you so much, Jana.
Take care.
So thank you, all masters. It's great that Jana has provided us all these interactive sessions and really the topics that we have to realize with this awareness. Thank you so much once again, Jana. And we wish you all the best. And we look forward some other time and some other space, right?
Definitely. It's a journey. This is just for
Yes.
the time being. Thanks for everything, Shashank.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Jana. Bye.